Okay, I think we're live. Good morning, everybody, from my basement. Um, I have now replaced my video card, my two 2080 Ti's, with a single fan-powered 3090, and I ran a couple of quick benchmarks. Um, yeah, uh, so the 3D Mark, the Port Royale score is 12,790. But that was without my um, that was without me in um, uh, live streaming. So I'm going to run it again right now and see what it's like. Here we go, run again. We're going to see what it's like while I'm streaming. So that was 12 something. Anyway, it's the temperatures are running around 60 degrees centigrade is what the card is running at, sort of fresh out of the box. I don't even know if I've got the right driver running. Something happened when I booted it up with a new graphics card. The resolution was like 640 by whatever, like super poor resolution, which means that the video card or whatever, the OS or the driver, didn't see the 2080 Ti's and kicked into some default mode or some kind of I don't know. And I've had issues in the past where the driver, it actually, an old version of the driver kicks in and not the latest version of the driver. It's a real mess. Okay, so we're looking at about 50 frames a second, 54 frames a second. The GPU utilization is at 99%. Temperatures pegged at 63 degrees, 64. Now, the 2080 Ti's, when I was running them, when I was running the two, the temperatures were in sort of the low to mid 40s, so 42, 45 degrees, something like that. So I'm expecting that I'll be able to drop the temperature on the card at least 20 degrees centigrade. That should definitely boost the performance. The GPU clock is around 1.8 gigahertz, 1.7, upper 1.7. So it's 17. There it's 1800, 1770, 1800 megahertz. The memory clock is at 9751. Now, I don't know if I've got, I turned on the MSI Afterburner in order to boost the power and the clocks when the 280 was installed. I don't know if that's actually going on right now. So, anyway. All right, now the benchmark, you're going to have to just trust me on this, is, now that it finished, it comes up at, 11,490. It's interesting. So the when you live stream, you really take away from the performance. It was 1270. It was like 12,700 before, and now it's at 11. It's basically 11,500. So 11,500. It's a pretty big drop when you're live streaming. All right, and then we're going to run through the paces here. And we're going to start with Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, I was getting over 100 frames per second when I was not streaming. Now let's see what kind of a performance hit I'm taking when I'm live streaming. Okay, we're loaded up. Well, 100 frames per second, 96 frames per second. Oh, this looks very much like my 2080 Ti. I'm getting maybe 10% improvement, if that, with my 2080 Ti. Now that's the water-cooled 2080 Ti Dual. I have very nice smooth action here. The GPU utilization is 95%. And temperature 64. The GPU clock seems to be pegged at, what's that, 1950, 1935. So, but the frames per second, I would say is maybe 5% better. So, I never got above 100 frames per second. I was more like around the 94, 95 frames per second. And now I'm at about 110. Now, clearly, I realize that the live streaming does affect the performance of my gaming. You do shave off a good, I don't know, 5-10% of your performance, which kind of sucks. This is interesting. The desktop audio. Well, all right, whatever. All right, enough of that. I'm not going to go through. I'm going to just leave it at that. God of War plays exactly the same. There's no difference. Now, I did load Cyberpunk. Let's run Cyberpunk and see what that looks like. Let's play Cyberpunk 2077. There she is. All right. When I played it yesterday, again, it's a single GPU game. I was getting about 40 something frames a second. So that was the lowest frame rate of all the games. So let's see what we got here. All right, we're breaching. I don't know, the sound is not working. Huh. All right, screw the sound for now.
Hey everyone, feels great to have you back.
And how do I
Did
get
y'all
beyond
hear about that
this?
Arasaka aircraft carrier docked in Night City called Kujira or the Whale?
All right, here we are. Continue. All right. Oh, 65 frames per second.
And they say I've got my head in the
61.
clouds.
Let's go outside.
Earth to be. Checking them out.
54. So at this point, nope, now we're down to 46. Now, it could be that when I was playing it yesterday, I wasn't live streaming. And now I'm live streaming. I'm getting roughly the same performance, just a little bit better. 44 frames, 43 frames per second. And it stutters a little bit. Not quite as smooth as Horizon Zero Dawn. Now 30, 45 frames, 46. Interesting. So basically, my 2080 Ti was getting about my water-cooled 2080 Ti in SLI mode with its partner 2080 Ti with the two. I have two 2080 Ti's, all of which only one is in use. Yeah, this is really bad. 47. I am not impressed. Well, I mean, it could be that. Check out what she's wearing. Um, it could be that now we're down to 39 frames per second, 40 frames per second. Well, all right. So my thought that I'm trying to get through is I only have a single 3090. I don't have the two 3090s plugged in SLI mode. So I'm going to do that next and see if that makes a difference. I did notice, I believe, that with my 2080 Ti setup, two 2080 Ti's, even though only one is being used, so you have a game that only uses one 2080 Ti, when you plug both of them in, you still get a slight improvement. You don't get like the factor of two, but you get maybe a 10% improvement. And I think what happens is the physics engine is run on one of the GPUs, and the rest of it runs on the other GPU. So you get a slight boost of that second GPU, but it's not like you get the factors of two when it's as you would expect to get when when the video game is properly configured to use both. All right, let me do one more. Let's see. Test here. I'm going to run Red Dead Redemption 2. And then we're going to cut the stream off. And I'm going to load the other graphics card, put it in SLI mode, and see what the performance is like. And then I'm going to spend the rest of the day putting on the water blocks, and then I'm basically redoing these tests. Okay. And here comes Red Dead. It's loading. And it takes forever. I mean, it's all loaded up to a... Hello, 1, 2, 3. Ah, I hit the mute button. Jesus Christ. All right. So we're doing Red Dead Redemption. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know how I hit the mute button. There's okay. I'm talking, and that was me hitting the mute button. Brr. This is a really exciting live stream, isn't it? As Steve broadcasts out to the void. If Steve live streams into the void, did the live stream ever happen? Okay. Yeah, baby. I love that shotgun shot sound. This is what makes Rockstar videos so cool. That sort of canyon echo thing. All right, story mode. And this is going to take a bit. It takes a while to load. There's the hombre with his gun. Everybody has a gun. Like our poor citizens of Ukraine. They're all running around with rifles. All right. Valentine. I played this full game. You know, I'm going to have my rant here. I cannot stand that they release these video games. I believe they did release a video game first on PS5. And then they released a video game on PC. Yeah. And then I went and I got the PC version. Okay, here we go. Now we are going at 70 frames per second. Not bad. Very smooth. G-Sync is working very nicely. And the GPU clock is 1845. 96 GPU utilization. And yeah, we've got 70 frames per second, 68 frames per second. Decent screen, so frame rates for that nice smooth experience. Okay, well that's it. I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to now install the second video card.